I'm like,
can't bring in the stage. They gotta have handlers.
I'll be looking at her like, damn, she fine. Don't make sure this.
That's our buddy and your buddy.
Season 3, Debate with Vick Sports Show. We coming live from the Mo. You know how we go. We talking basketball, football, and boxing. You got something to say, man? Jump up in them comments. We gon' keep it real with opinions and facts. Let's look at the stats. Well, that settles that. It ain't no hating. We just debating, interviewing guests so we can learn how they operating. Give you our perspective in a way that's captivating. Another sports show to put in your rotation. See, Vick choose the topics, everybody looking. Laro got the commentary and he keep it cooking. Cold with the game, he coming live from Brooklyn. You know, it's the most serious production. We giving game free, so tap in and see. Season 3, DWB, MSC.
Yes, sir. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of DWB Debate with Vick podcast. Episode 10, the final episode of year 2024. We've had a great year at MoSerious.com. Make sure you check us out on MoSerious.com, DWB. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. And yes, we are back. We took a couple weeks off. You know, we all daddies. Well, not cold, but, you know, some of us got daddy duties, getting ready for the holidays, but we could not let the year go about without us coming back and giving you the sports and the greatest sport news on the internet coming from MoSerious.com, DWB. What's going on with everybody? Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. And I got my man Rose sitting to the left. Over here, representing for H-Town, got the alternate jersey on with the Santa hat. We feeling the Christmas feeling. And then I got my boy Cole over there. Cole, what's going on with you, man?
Chilling, man. Over here in New Jersey, man. Chilling with the lady.
Chilling with the lady in New Jersey. Give her a shout out, man. Tell her we appreciate her letting you come on tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
But we got a lot to talk about, man. But we're going to talk about a couple of, present topics that's going on in the league. But we also want to talk about, some of the fine things we talked about in 2024 debates. We're going to talk about what each panel member thought was a good debate. What was our favorite topics of this year? Shout out to my man Chuck, the man that's holding it down, the producer, the owner of this whole project. Chuck, we appreciate you, man, getting us through another year of DWB. And here we are, man. We here. It's been an exciting last 3 weeks of sports, man. It's not possible that we can cover everything that went on, but I know last weekend was a great sports weekend. We had boxing, we had basketball, we had, the college football playoff. So it's impossible for us to cover all of that, but we will briefly touch on the topics that we think are important. But before we get started, everybody that's in that chat, make sure, again, I keep re-emphasizing, hit that like and subscribe. Give us a shout out. Make sure you participate in the chat. We sorry that we had to take a little bit of break, but we back at it. We're looking forward to going to another year in the year 2025. And we're going to keep moving, keep bringing you the best topics and the best debates. All right, let's get into it. Now, this story is a little bit old, but it's still controversial, and I still want to talk about it. I want to talk about the hit that everybody was talking about 3 weeks ago. Yes, it was 3 weeks ago with the Texans versus the Jaguars. Well, my man Aziz, who plays for the Texans, was suspended because of the hit he put on Trevor Lawrence. Now, it made national news, and everybody had their comments. In particular, the biggest topic that comes with this story is, was it an illegal hit or not? I thought it was very, very important that, Tom Brady came on and talked about it, and he actually in favor of Aziz, sided with the defensive player. So, that's my question about that. Is that hit, should he have been suspended? Should he have been fined? And what does that do in terms of the game? Because the whole issue I have with it is that it just makes me not even want to be a defensive player in the NFL. And I just thought it was it was just ludicrous that he was suspended. But let's get into it. Cole, what do you think about this topic, man? It's got a lot of national news behind it. How did you feel about the hit? How did you feel about the suspension? And tell us what would you do if you had to do anything different about this hit?
I've personally seen worse hits. My issue is with the league is like, how do you really adjudicate, hits like that when we're dealing with mobile quarterbacks? And you're dealing with mobile quarterbacks, I think there should be some type of signal or some type of way of like saying, "Hey, I give up, I'm sliding," or whatever like that, or stop the play. Like just give them maybe 3 or 4 yards and say, "Hey, these are yards that will be given to you," or two-hand touch them and say that's where the play's going to stop. Because at the end of the day, like you can't be penalizing when in the heat of the moment and the game is intense and the game is close. You're just going off a reaction as a defensive player. But if they really want to adjudicate this and do this the right way, then make a two-hand touch for the quarterbacks and say, "Hey, as soon as they touch by 2 hands, then at the end of the day, the play stops right there, regardless of where you're at." So
I mean, I get what you're saying. I think I get the point. I'm not necessarily cool with the outcome with the two-hand touch. I mean, you make it sound like we back on the streets of No City, baby. Two-hand touch in the grass. Two-hand touch on the concrete. But I get what you're saying. I get the point. What you're saying is something needs to be done. Something needs to be adjusted because, again, what you want me to do as a defensive player. Ro, what you think? Because it's kind of like, I get what Cole's saying. I just don't necessarily agree with the solution. But I think Cole is making a point like, what he's saying is something needs to be done. Something needs to be changed.
In terms of the officiating of them to call it in uniform, consistent manner, I think that's the issue because I really didn't appreciate the fallout because everybody wanted to label Aziz a dirty player and act like he got this history and this, that, and other like he was doing. And that's true. I mean, it's a fine line between fighting for 2 or 3 extra yards like these quarterbacks do. It's like, how much protection you going to give them? Either they need to put them in the new CTE, the Guardian cap helmet or something like that to keep them from getting these concussions. Because we had a similar situation that they forgot about when we locked up with the Bills, matter of fact. When we hit Josh Allen, it was controversial because he was concussed on the play. He circumnavigated the tent, and then they just figured, okay, we're going to let him on back in there. And we got the better than boys in that. So, I mean, being that he's a protected class, let's just be real. We understand what that's the real dilemma that they're doing. I mean, Russell Wilson took a mean hit not too long ago and fumbled the rock on the goal line. As a matter of fact, it wasn't necessarily a head-to-head shot or anything like that. But I mean, you just have to really, it's apples and oranges. You got these quarterbacks that are mobile, that are fighting for extra yardage, and then you have these wannabe hybrids that they want to give these running quarterback protection. Because I guarantee you, that's the biggest problem I have with is inconsistency. Because they don't give Lamar that. They don't even give Pat that. They don't give.
They didn't give Cam Newton that when they used to hit him dirty back in the day.
And there you go. I was going to bring that point up as well because, the thing about Cam Newton, I think that's what ran him out of football. It was like, on one side of the bar, defensive players were saying, in particular, when we talking about Cam, it's like, man, he's big. What you want us to do? And they were basically treating Cam Newton like a running back. Well, I think you should do that for all quarterbacks. All quarterbacks got to understand is when you get outside of that pocket, you become a running back.
That should commit you. Yeah,
exactly.
Once you cross
that line, and I get it. And for the NFL, I'm saying this. Yes, I get it. You want to protect the quarterbacks because you're paying them a lot of money. But here's the thing. How much more do you want us to do as defensive players? If somebody comes across the middle in the NFL that y'all both know and Chuck know, the NFL that we grew up with, that's what made the receivers official. Is that when you run across the middle, you just understood that you're going to get took out. I mean, think about the quarterbacks, and I hate to sound like an old dude, but think about the quarterbacks in the 80s and 90s. You got hit. They picked you up. That's it. And brought in the backup.
That's it. Like and the backup was a no start.
Right. And the quarterback position used to be the toughest position on the field. Because you had
Steve McNally get dislocated.
Right. I seen Joe Montana get hit, and people just walk over him like it is,
I saw my man elbow was swollen up, big as a grapefruit one time. I said, man,
and so that's my question to everybody who thinks that the hit was dirty. It's like, what do you want defensive players to do? Because here's the thing. There's also another element that we're not thinking about. These guys make bonuses off of hits. They make bonuses off of how many tackles they get. And then if you got somebody that's running and you got to second guess what you got to do,
Right. Or that fails in mind.
Exactly.
You fighting for the stop, matter of fact.
Exactly.
You stuff him on the line, quarterback, running back, or somebody ball carrier, period. And you stuff him at the sticks, and you gonna tell me that a player is just by default dead just because I hit him hard?
And because he's a quarterback, right? And because he's a quarterback, we gotta, as a defensive player in the NFL, the game goes fast. And so now I risk a chance of me getting hurt because I'm trying to pull up because I got to think to myself, this is a quarterback. I can't hit the quarterback.
You know what? Easy solution. You got it. They got to commit to the slide sooner. If you don't commit to the slide sooner, that's like throwing up your white flag. If you commit to the slide, that means they can't touch you.
Listen,
other than that, your ass is game. You were fighting back to
yard. Think about the fake slide. That's part of it.
Nah, that's why I say
that should negate your privilege.
Listen, I wouldn't even, and that's why I say we just go past anything. Period. If you're a quarterback, you're a receiver, you're running some kind of trick play, you get outside their pocket, it's game. It's game. Yeah. I'm not even, because I'm teaching my defensive players this. If he fake slide and you don't tackle him, I'm finding you.
Matter of fact, in the chat we were talking about not too long ago, man, when Shador was just rolling around, it's like mess around, take a shot, just scrambling around in the pocket, man, in a dirty pocket, trying to get the ball off you. Once you release the ball, they can go low, they hit you, and they can go to wherever they want. And that's, I mean, it's, I
get it. I get them trying to preserve the quarterbacks, but again, the game is becoming too offensive minded. I mean, you can't
preserve
yourself
to a degree.
As a cornerback, you have to watch how you put your hands on the receivers. If they run across the middle in the heat of the battle, you have to make sure you hit them with the right shoulder in the right position. Who has time? Who has time as a defensive player to think about that?
You know, plays a boom, boom, boom.
Right, exactly. So I just think quarterbacks, and I'm not even with the fake slide. Listen, if you get outside that pocket, it should be fair game. It should be fair game. And I'm even telling my defensive players this: take the fine. We'll take the fine because I don't want my guys who play football their whole life
second guessing what they do.
They've got to this point because they haven't second guessed.
They hesitate. Ain't no stops. If you got to stop and then have a doctorate, you got to go to your master's degree and train and figure out how you gonna make contact.
That's why they on defense, because they the best athletes on the field and they head hunt.
That's right. And you know what? You hard line it. You make the officiating real clear cut like that, and then you find the shit at boys when they like if you hit somebody out of bounds or you hit somebody late, then you call it. You make it a back-breaking play. Right. That way you can really iron that on out the game, and then you don't have to worry about
I'm telling you, and Cole, you know, what makes a defense nasty is the fact that offensive players will think about, do I really want to run across this middle?
Mm-hmm.
I really want to get outside this pocket, because they don't mind taking a foul.
But in New Orleans, see it back in the gap.
Listen, I tell people all the time. I tell people all the time. That Super Bowl when it was Seattle, the Super Bowl that Seattle won with the Legion of Boom, I think it was against Denver, where they mollywopped Denver. They just went on ahead and took the hit on Peyton. They took the penalty because it's an intimidation factor. Football needs to go back to that. I'm not advocating for nobody getting hurt. But at the same time, I don't want my defensive guy to pull it up.
It's the same thing across the board, even in the hoop. It's like back when we hoop.
Right.
Hey, look, if you wasn't my big, if you wasn't really willing to get it, boy, that thing, that boy just driving and finishing on boy.
Right. And we'll talk about that later. But I think that's one of the reasons why the NBA is going so down is because we don't have that. Mm-hmm. The middle is not sacred anymore.
Yep.
You know, you as a young guard, if you went in there, you knew it was hell to pay. So, I just think the NFL got to think about that.
I think all these sports are getting soft, man. It just ain't the same no more, man.
It's becoming, for the NBA and the NFL, it's becoming a ticket sale. It's becoming an offensive explosion. They want to see on Monday Night Football, I don't know if y'all remember a couple years ago, or maybe a while back, I think it was the Chiefs and the Rams had a 51-45 game or something like that. They want to see it. They want that.
That was the other day.
Right. That's what they want, the fans to do that. Just like in basketball, they want it to be a 3-point shootout. So it's the league that's behind it.
They
What's
also
that?
need to bring back trash talking, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Like, all
yeah,
these technical giving players technicals and throwing the
right,
flag for people
right,
talking and yapping at each other is taken away from the. This is how we grew up in the
right.
schoolyard. This is how we grew up
Well,
playing Madden and Nintendo and Sega Genesis.
right,
With
right.
trash
And,
talking to each other, yo.
and I think kudos, and I'm gonna relate to this topic, and then we'll get to the fantasy. But I think that's what saving the WNBA right now is that NCAA allowed, because the NCAA understands that this country, whether we want to admit it or not, is about race. So they
Mm-hmm.
sold that Angel being the villain, the kid from the urban black area from Baltimore versus the good guy, white Caitlin Clark. Because America is about race. They sold that on it. Those two talk trash, and guess what? Now everybody want to see them play in the WNBA. Everybody wants to see Magic and Bird. Everybody wants to see good versus evil. Because that's what it is. And that's the part of the game. That's where it should be. How many years do we wait to see can Michael finally get past the Pistons?
Yep, there you go.
So I'm with you, Cole. It's the league has to take responsibility. Just have to take responsibility on this play with Trevor. Hey, if y'all don't want Trevor to get hurt, tell Trevor to get down.
Yep.
And that's plain and simple. But anyway, we could go about that topic all day and night. But Chuck, let's get into the fantasy, baby. Let's talk about what we got going on tonight, and hopefully we can get us some money. Shout out to Underdog Fantasy as we get into the fantasy segment of this podcast.
Yeah, it's going down Monday night. Due to the Monday night football, we got Green Bay Packers versus the Florida Saints. Right now, I try to do 4 people, so you do 2 Green Bay players, 2. Let me ask you this, Cole, while I pull this up. What you know about Spencer Rattler?
By what?
I say what you know about Spencer Rattler. That's the
Spencer
QB
Rattler?
for yeah.
I got him only going for $150, yo. That's all I got him going for. Throwing a $150.
He's the backup quarterback in New Orleans, right?
Yeah, like I got him going. In my other thing that I use, I'm not gonna mention the name. I got $150 for him.
Okay,
So I
so
will
we'll
put
talk offline about that. So under on the 181. I was thinking lower than that as well.
I'll put lower.
All right. What you think about Jordan Love?
I got higher for him. That offense is powerful. I got a touchdown for Josh Jacobs.
So for Jordan Love, you think that he's gonna have higher than 232 passing yards?
Or you could just put him for the 2 touchdowns. Put him for the 2 touchdowns.
So I think Chuck can.
No, I'm going y'all up.
You went straight to Kobe. Kobe. Kobe gambling. So I think Chuck kind of attributed the reason why we losing because of me and Rowe.
Man, we love the juice anyway. That's all right,
Hey,
bro.
so what y'all think about Josh Jacobs?
Josh Jacobs gonna choke that thing.
So do you think he's gonna get at least? Do you think he's gonna have more than 92 rushing yards? Or lower? Or
think he can hit a dollar. I think he
with
can hit
him
a
with
buck.
the touchdown.
I like him with the touchdown. I like him with the touchdown. 1 touchdown.
I think he can get a buck on them, though. I think he can get a buck. I think he can get a dollar on them.
Yeah, do this. Do you feel like he's better for 1 touchdown or a buck?
What's your issue with him?
Oh, okay. So
I don't need him to do nothing. I need him to back.
Oh,
I need him to pass it over people.
you need him. Wow. Okay.
Nothing against the kid, but I guess that's a lot. But
all right, so I need somebody else from New Orleans.
I got Jalen
Is
Reed
Kamara
I
playing?
think he's out.
for at
Is
least
Kamara
50
playing?
I don't think Kamara. What's the play called?
I got Reed going for at least 40 yards.
Reed, Naden
The
Reed.
receiver?
Yeah,
That's
at
for
least 40
Green
yards.
Bay.
Yeah.
So y'all know about Juwan Johnson.
That's
Kendrick Miller.
Spencer Rattler throwing the ball. That's why.
Hey,
Is the other quarterback
is he playing? Is Tyson playing?
Yeah, Tyson Hill
Because you
playing.
know he played different positions.
Who?
Tyson Hill. Is he playing? They play him in different positions.
Oh no,
He
out
plays-
for the season. He out for the season.
He's out for the season. That's why Rattler's playing. I bet. Yeah, him and Carr both hurt, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Rattler,
that's why Rattler's playing.
They usually been playing Taysom Hill at the Wildcat, the running back.
Right. He plays
Tight
multiple
end.
positions.
Yeah.
Right.
But he's out for the season. I think Kamara's out for the season too. I think.
Jeez, I mean, New Orleans.
It was a day
Man.
in time. I ain't know they whole route.
Yeah,
Nobody in New Orleans right now, man.
they've been hit with injuries this year because they started off well, but then they started
blowout.
Yeah.
Gardner with 10 balls.
Yeah, well, and then shout out, man. I've been telling y'all all year. I've been telling y'all the best division in football is that NFC North. Like they might put 3 people in the playoffs: Detroit, Green Bay, Minnesota.
I think people sleeping. You know what division people sleeping on too is that AFC West, man. The Chargers,
Yeah.
and what you call it?
Yeah.
All of them got
Yeah.
defenses that travel. All of them got
Yeah.
great coaches. Like, yo,
Yeah,
two
but-
teams I wouldn't want to play, and I've been telling everybody this since the beginning of the season is I don't want to play Pittsburgh and I don't want to play Denver. I think those.
I'm not sold on Denver. I think Denver is good, but I think they're a year away. But I get what you're saying. They do look scary.
Yeah, that
They look
defense,
scary.
though.
Yeah, it is nasty. Chuck, we got the picks in. We okay with what we got, and we still need something.
No,
New Orleans.
I need one more.
Nobody knows nothing about New Orleans, man. They such bottom feeders, man. Like, Cole, you the
bro, I
gambler.
don't know.
You notice that I'm quiet over here. You the gambler. Tell us about New Orleans, because I don't know. Everybody I know about them, they're injured. Like, what happened to the star receiver that signed with Jordan?
What they saying about Musgrave? This is his first game back.
I thought he was a star. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought he was cold.
Well,
Yeah.
Musgrave played for Green Bay. All these cats play for Green Bay. So for New Orleans picks, I got Kendrick Miller,
I don't know him.
Russian running back. I got Foster
Go with Morneau with two catches or something.
Yeah, take the smallest yard
Hey,
and
look.
catch it.
Pin that one on Cole the Pill.
Yeah,
Man. I ain't
yeah.
never heard of them boys.
Yeah,
man.
nobody know nothing about New Orleans, man.
So yeah,
That's so
I
bad.
feel you though. So you think he's good for 3 catches for the whole game?
He's a tight
That's
end.
good.
The tight end's usually the safety guy for backup quarterbacks.
Oh, is he a tight end?
Look what we basing our picks off of right now. 'Cause
Yeah.
we just don't know who they are.
Okay,
Cole.
this one y'all asked about Mason Pippen.
You could go with Jamal Williams. You go with Jamal Williams. He might get a touchdown.
Ain't that the cornerback?
That's the running back that used to be with what you used to be with Detroit Lions before they got Gibbs.
Hey, Chuck, just pick something because it just makes me feel bad talking about the Saints, man.
Yeah,
They so bad.
You feel me? I got more to say about the Cowboys. That's
Yeah,
the thing.
exactly,
That
man.
is
I'm
sad.
like, it's crazy, man. Wow. Shout out to New Orleans, man. Wow. I mean, they've been hit with injuries. We don't even know who these guys are. Tell the audience who these
Underdog fantasy New Orleans. True underdog.
All right, y'all.
Shock the
All right,
world
shout out to
They're gonna shock the
Underdog
world
Fantasy, man. I mean, no disrespect to the New Orleans Saints, man, but golly. I mean, here's the thing. I only got to pay attention to who I got to pay attention. I mean, it's the NFC side. So I'm not gonna even bring in the Buccaneers. I'm not gonna say nothing about Baker Mayfield. I'm gonna leave that alone because it's still between him and Atlanta who can win. But anyway, let's get into it now. Since we had, yeah, well, he does. He does. Because they thought they waited too long.
I have to ask that. Yo.
Yeah. But hey, man, I don't want to talk about the NFC South. I don't even want to get into that. Let's just get into the best of 2024. Let's go to each panel member because I do not want to talk about Baker Mayfield. You already finna talk about Deshaun Watson. But let's go to each panel member. Let's starting with Cole. Let's get this over with on what was their favorite debate topic, and let's talk about it. And Cole, you take us anywhere you want. Tell us what your topic is. What was your favorite debate topic, and whatever you want to add. Why you think this is the best topic? Do you think you're right? Does it come back up? Whatever it is, Cole, get yours over with first, and then we'll go to you.
So I want to lead with Deshaun Watson. We go on a year review. Matter of fact, we go 3 years of review. Ever since this guy came to the league, to Cleveland, actually.
Okay, yeah. Don't say the league.
He's been a disappointment. First, I'm going to start off what Cleveland gave up for him. They gave up a 2022 first round pick, a 2022 fourth round pick, a 2023 first round pick, a 2023 third round pick, a 2024 first round pick, and a 2024 fourth round pick. No, and they got a conditional 6th rounder, or also received a 6th rounder from the Texans in that trade. I think by far in the last century of the NFL, this has been the worst trade for what they received back from the player. The player has not taken them to the playoffs. The player has not won. In fact, he's been bringing on his off-court issues to the team, and he's not winning, which makes it even worse than a worse trade. I just want to say that I think he's washed. I think that all those arguments you made that he was better than what he was, Baker, he is definitely not. I think he had he would have been a Hall of Famer if you based his career off the Texans. But ever since he left the Texans, I will say he's washed. He's done.
Take off your Tony Bullshit shirt.
Hang up the cleats. Get into the booth. Matter of fact, go commentate college football. Don't commentate NFL football. He's done. Get him out of here. That's my take.
Wow. Well, I mean, you do stick to your guns. I don't even want to debate you on that because at the end of the day, I don't know what this is about Deshaun Watson. Like, let me ask you this question. You bring up great numbers, and apparently, according to your numbers and what he looks like and what has happened to him in Cleveland, it makes it look like you know what you're talking about, even though you don't. But in hindsight, let's go back to the trade. I want to ask you this. Mm-hmm. It sounds like you wasn't for the trade. Now, when you weren't for the trade or when he got there, what made you say, this is not going to work? Like, what made you say, you know what, this guy is not what people thought he is? Because you've been hot on it, and to the audience, it looks like you know what you're talking about because the numbers, everything you wrote off has played off. What is it about Deshaun Watson that you say get him out of here? Why is it done?
It's his second year because I will say this: I gave him a pass his first year for the amount of time that he was off. Like I give him a pass for that first year, and then he was injured a little bit. But that second year, I'm sorry for the way Flacco came in and played, for the way that Jameis Winston came in and started moving the offense around.
Let's stick with that, though, Cole. Let's stick with that. Let's stick with that. Let's stick with Jameis because Jameis is pretty washed as well.
He's washed as well. But
he's looking more systemic than what, like Cleveland has been cursed, and that has been a revolving door. I mean, because think about the success. The success was limited that Flacco even saw. You know what I'm saying? Like he helmed the ship well enough to get him another job in Indy, but yeah, Father Time it takes no prisoners. So, I mean, washed is still debatable, but. At the same time, there is a problem. I can agree with you in that there is a problem.
He got a case,
so
it's like, he got a case. I'm not gonna dismiss because
he's done me and Vick no favor.
Right. Like you got a case. I'm not saying you don't have a case. And he does have issues that he needs to deal with. And you know what? To your credit, I'm not upset if Cleveland decide to go another way. I don't think he's washed because at the end of the day, he's had a lot of injuries. Everything that went on in Houston was crazy. That's why I was giving him a pass anyway. I think Houston made a bad decision and they had to eat that. And there's been a lot of things that followed him. But to your point, a professional is a professional. You got to go out and play football.
At the end of the day, though, I think he's a lot like the guy. He's a lot like Baker. I think he just needs the right situation.
I said
if he gets the right situation, I think it could really resurrect his whole thing.
Because to his point, Cole, and again, I'm not in any other debate, we go on any other show, you win in this because you got facts and numbers. Okay. But to his point, and he actually took my point, you know what I'm saying? That's why I love him on this show. It's something going on, and I'm going to talk about it in my debate. It's something going on with that organization. May not be with winning, but with quarterbacks. Because even I can even turn around and put this argument on you. You felt like Cleveland didn't give Baker enough time. Because, and you said it translates over to Tampa Bay. What he's doing in Tampa Bay, he could have been doing in Cleveland. He had one good season there, but something is going on in that organization when it comes to quarterback play.
Historically.
Yeah, because they have not. They've had Baker Mayfield. They've had
Johnny
Deshaun
Football.
Watson.
They've had the number one pick.
And it could be that they drafted wrong. It could be they don't know how to. Some teams don't know how to develop quarterbacks. They've been so bad that they get young quarterbacks. Now, to that point, maybe it's just the organization that just can't do anything with young talent. Maybe that's why they were successful with Flacco. Maybe they need to go out and get them a franchise quarterback.
I think they should trade for Brown.
You know what I'm saying?
I think they should just sign Kirk Cousins when he gets.
But see, and that's what I want to ask you, because that's one of my questions later. The Watson criticism is warranted.
Mm-hmm.
Why ain't nobody talking about Kirk Cousins' criticism? Why nobody's talking about that? Because here's the thing. We can say what they want. They still got a shot at the playoffs. And it makes my point look good. They started Penix yesterday. You know why? Mm-hmm. Because Kirk Cousins is not getting the job done. Now, for everything that Deshaun Watson is getting as far as he play on the football field, you're 100% right. But why isn't that criticism going to Kirk Cousins? I said the same thing about Trevor Lawrence. Because if we can talk about Deshaun Watson, Kirk Cousins ain't played no more.
They're reckoning for a lot of these guys that's coming. That Purdy got a reckoning.
I'm gonna talk about your boy later too. You tried to sell me on Purdy. I told you. And to Purdy's credit, he might not be in that same area because they got a lot of injuries in San Francisco.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They got a lot of injuries, but
they got a lot of injuries.
I mean, I can't debate you on Deshaun Watson. I just don't think he's finished. I have to agree with you. He has not got the job done. You know what I'm saying?
Backfield with Nick Chubb and
what
you call it, but see the injury bug hit Cleveland very hard as well.
Yeah, but the deeper question too is Cleveland as an organization. I'm gonna talk about that in my debate. I'm gonna let you go next, bro. But to Cole's credit, I can't take away the numbers. He is underperformed.
Historically, my head is hurt. They might be hurt.
Well, it's something about that organization when it comes to quarterbacks. They don't get it done.
Because who was the last winner? Like Ernie Kosar?
I think that's what I'm about to say. The last franchise quarterback they had was Kosar. They've had Tim Couch, Baker Mayfield, Johnny Football, Deshaun Watson. They've had quarterbacks. It's just not an environment that cultivates young quarterbacks. Yeah. I think that's, plain and simple. But
same problem with the Bears.
yeah, and I'm gonna talk about that later too, because I got a whole list about the Bears. All right, bro, let's go to you. Good topic, Cole. Since you got a lot of merit behind it, even though I don't necessarily agree, but you got the numbers and you got the play to prove it. I can't debate you on it. I just think it's a deeper thing. But to your credit,
I think they definitely have made some bad decisions as management, but I do think they had enough talent over the last couple of years to have better quarterback play.
And that's a fair point.
You see the players leave like Jerry Jeudy, and he goes and he does his thing.
Right. All right, well, what you got? What's your debate for 2024?
The 2024 debate, in my eyes, it wasn't necessarily a debate more so than it was just giving Mike Tomlin his flowers, because it was that time when it came up when the boys was rolling. He had to go ahead and stick with his guns and show, mix it up a little bit and go and change lanes and go back to Russell. And it's been paying dividends since then.
Right.
And I don't think he's getting nearly as much of the coach of the year, coach of the century,
right?
Accolades that he should be garnering in terms of getting his flowers. So I really like that we discussed that right before it came to be, because it was it took a lot of cojones, to pull the trigger on a deal like that.
Right. With
Black and winning and everything like that. And then to really still be paying dividends and still be, and quite possibly one of the two. I don't know. Isn't it amazing how both the South divisions are trash and both of the North divisions are
right.
That's crazy.
Right.
But yeah, I think that one, either that one, or I don't know if it's talking about that the inherited issues of those dang green guys. That was crazy. To have called the Devontae Landon right before it happened in an effort to salvage A-Rod's career and existence out there was, I think, prophetic and profound here. So I was glad to have participated in such an endeavor.
Right.
Wow.
And I think that might also be a shot at Cole. But to your point,
I love this guy.
To your point, though, I think to the first topic, that's a great topic, because here's the thing. And I had this. It's funny you bring this up. I had this discussion in the barbershop. It's like I asked the question like, should we not be, other than the Super Bowl, should we not be mentioning Mike Tomlin up there with Andy Reid? Now, people can turn back and say, and I wanted to have Campbell on here because he's such a Kansas City fan, but to Andy Reid's credit, what kind of maybe put him over Mike Tomlin, maybe, is because of the Super Bowls. But my question, when I come back to the barbershop talk, when I go back to it, it's like, okay, but just think about this. Think about that season, and that might have been last season or the season before, where he had to, I think he had, I'm talking about Tomlin, he had Mason Rudolph as a point, and they still made the playoffs. I mean, other than the Super Bowls, I think I would argue that Mike Tomlin has had less in Pittsburgh to work with versus Andy Reid. Now, no disrespect to Andy Reid, because everywhere he's gone in terms of quarterbacks and offense, they have won. He did a great job with Philadelphia, and then he got to Kansas City. The whole idea, the maturation process of Patrick Mahomes, it just turned out to be the greatest. Probably going to be a dynasty in football. I don't know if he was there that long. I know he was a part of the organization that when Mahomes came out of, I think it was Texas, they decided to groom him. They didn't put him in at first, and now it looks like they know what they're talking about, because when they unleashed him, here we are. We talked about him probably being the greatest quarterback. In that discussion. But to Mike Tomlin's credit, Pittsburgh is not a team that gets. It might have been something like that. Yeah.
It might have even been Alex Smith.
Yeah,
it was Alex Smith.
Yeah, and Alex Smith was actually playing pretty good. But to Tomlin's credit, it's like Pittsburgh doesn't get the national coverage that they should get, other than the Baltimore, the rivalry game in the OSU. But he's made the playoffs every year since he's been a coach. And the thing about it is, he hasn't had the level of talent that Kansas City has had. And I think, to your credit, what set the thing over the top for me for Mike Tomlin was this year, because you got Justin Fields coming in, you had Russell Wilson coming in, he's getting a lot of pressure from the national media that Wilson is done. And he stuck to his guns on Wilson. I didn't think Wilson was done. I just think I think Sean Payton made a mockery.
Arguably two of the greatest free agent acquisitions quietly, in the league and the wide. Everybody's overwhelmed with Saquon, and I guess even Joe Mixon coming here. But those two guys have been quietly super effective in Pittsburgh. They really put them over the hump.
Right. And then you can argue that Pittsburgh, to make the playoffs every year, that means you're giving your team a chance to win the championship every year.
Division with Lamar. That's 4 MVP.
And that's always one of the top divisions in the league. In particular, the rivalry.
And you got cool out there.
And the division that's coming up. So, I think Mike Tomlin, man, I think other than the Super Bowls, he's right there with Andy Reid for me. Right. And they just, it had something to be said about, and think about it like this. Those people that run that organization, how many head coaches have they actually had? 3 or 4? They haven't had a lot of head coaches. It's the people that own Heinz Ketchup. They run them. They have done a great job. I'm going to talk about that in my debate about organization. They have done a great job, first of all, giving Mike Tomlin a shot. Second of all, you don't, unlike Jerry, unlike Arthur Blank, you never hear about those people. They let Mike Tomlin do his thing. And whoever the general manager is, I don't know who it is, but it's just the overall organization has done a great job. They picked the right guy. They seem like they get behind him. When he's got a media fire, they don't get in his way. They don't hinder him. It seems like when I look at all his teams, they have his fingerprint. They own it. Mike Tomlin is tough. They're physical, and they're his kind of guy. So I'm with you, man. Like, I'm glad you brought that up, because I had that barbershop top. It's like, everybody, it's easy to point to Andy Reid because of the Super Bowl. But who's to say? And I don't know if it even works in the Mike Tomlin system. I don't even know what the Mike Tomlin system is, but he hasn't had the type of talent at the Mahomes. He hadn't had a tight end.
He was blessed with the end of Big Ben's run.
Yeah,
Roethlisberger's run.
exactly.
Roethlisberger retired
Exactly.
years ago.
And then it's hard to come behind Bill Cowher. So yeah,
For
of
them
course,
not miss a beat.
exactly.
And then because you've heard Russ gush over the culture, that's
Right.
the culture of the team.
right.
It's gonna resurrect him, put him right back on target to get that jacket. Now.
Right. And here's the thing. And I saw this on the Pippen about it. I saw this on the Pippen about Mike Tomlin. Like, he's got quite a bit of a coaching tree out there. Guys that are coming under him and starting to coach, and guys that are starting to move out in the college football world. So he's got a little bit of a coaching tree out there as well. But just the way the guy moves about business, you never hear about it. I'm not knocking anybody for this. You never hear about anybody in Pittsburgh getting in major trouble, incidents.
Right. Saying that's the last time Antonio had sense. That's the last time Antonio Brown had some sense.
And it might even look well that they got rid of him.
Yeah, they saw it coming down.
Yeah.
Because Antonio Brown won since then.
Yeah.
But he was never the player he was in Pittsburgh.
And see, he could have took right. And that's what I'm saying. Whether it be the coach, it could be the coach. I think it's the coach. It could be the order. Whatever's going on there, they know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Even Le'Veon Bell. I love Le'Veon Bell, but he had to take care of business.
Had to go.
And then for him to bounce back after having all those personalities on the team,
they saw it coming.
Yeah,
they saw it coming.
They look like prophets, don't they?
He went to the Jets. He had to stop it, gang green. It was unceremonious.
Yeah.
And then he was celebrity box.
Yep. So shout out to the Steelers, man. I like that. I like that topic. But to my favorite debate this year, make sure everybody hit that like and subscribe on DWB on Most Series. I like to talk about, and I was telling Cole this before we got on. I can't remember what episode, but I was talking about people in professional sports. And as fans, just to educate, it's like if you're pulling for your team, and I know this personally from Texas, it's like, when do we start holding these organizations responsible for what's going on? Yeah. The scapegoat for everybody is to get rid of the coach, to trade players, but the front office issue, you mentioned Gang Green. Nobody on this panel can tell me that the Jets have not had supreme talent for years. But it's something going on in that organization, whether it be the decision making, whether it be the drafting.
Y'all saw what I wrote in the chat. Like, I've seen it over. I can't believe it. They say that the owner in New York really has his son Brick and Tampa. I don't know what his name is. Brick and some of Madden rating.
I saw that.
Madden rating, bro. And they playing with boys' lives and dollars and trying to with Madden rating. It's like, man, don't you know that?
And here's the thing. Man, you gotta ask this question: you can't win in New York. You can't get talent in New York. Who is not going? Right. Who don't want to sign? Right. And that was my biggest thing about the Knicks. Like, I tell Cole this all the time. The Knicks have turned it around because somebody in that organization, and Lord forbid, I know it ain't James Dolan, but somebody in that organization is waking up. And I told Cole this from the beginning. I've said this on the show 1,000 times. They picked the right guy on the court to build the team around. They picked Jalen Brunson, and they built the team around his identity. Well, you know why you can do that? Number one, he's gonna be there. Number two, he's gonna play hard. And he's gonna hold guys accountable. It's his characteristics of a number one player. You have to have it, especially in the NBA. It's the difference between a Jalen Brunson, who's not as talented as the Anthony Davis. The Lakers built their roster around Anthony Davis. Now, LeBron is there, but they planned on going through Anthony Davis. Well, they can't get back to the championship with number one, Anthony Davis, as talented as he is, and you would build your team around somebody that talented. He's never there the whole season.
Pelican curse too.
Yeah,
That might be the Pelican curse.
But can we truly
yes.
that argument?
Yes, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Last 2 seasons?
Yes.
He's been hooping.
No. Yeah, but Chuck, it's 25 points one night, then it's 15 points one night, then it's you hurt.
So performance versus human is 2 different.
But here's the thing: They all come together with your number one player. I'll go back to our Rockets. You know why we win championships with Elijah Warren? Because number one is his performance. Number two, he's there. And number three is what he's doing when he's there. Anthony Davis, for the high talent that he's got, number one, he stays hurt. Even when he's there, he's not consistent. When Anthony Davis is on, he's the best player in the league.
Because it's not even like an Embiid issue with conditioning. He comes, he's in shape. He just
inconsistent, fragile. Your number one guy.
I just feel like last season, he kind of squashed those.
he be giving numbers. I seen him on your fantasy. Yeah, he be hitting numbers, bro.
And they lost the first round, right?
They did.
Right. So,
But I'm just saying,
so who you gonna put the blame on? You gonna put it on coaching or the 40-year-old? Because you can't put it on the 40-year-old. Because here's the thing about the 40-year-old. He's not supposed to be doing what he's supposed to be. That's not supposed to be his role.
Anything you get from him, anything
Right.
you get from him,
And that's my point. Your number two guy who's 40 years old has to give extraordinary performances for you to have a chance. That's on your number one player. That roster is built for Anthony the ball to go through Anthony Davis. Because if not, they would have loaded it up. They got the money to load that roster up with talent. It's Anthony Davis. You can't have him as your number one player. Now, I think he's a great number two player. But him versus the Knicks are getting to where they're at because they number one guy who's not as talented as the Anthony Davis, he's there. Cole, what is Bronson average tonight?
24.
Give us 24 points at 6'2". Now, why is 8 assists? Why is it that's the main reason why they winning? They got rid of Julius Randle. They changed the whole face of the team. And guess what? Any given night, just like I said about the Rockets don't have this. Bronson can give you 45 points if need be.
efficient 45.
And guess what, Cole? He gonna be right.
Yep.
He gonna be there. And the worst game that Jalen Brunson gonna give you is average, but he's just shooting worse. But guess what? He's still getting 8, 9, 10 assists a game. Unlike Anthony Davis. Right. Exactly. Unlike Anthony Davis, he's gonna be consistent. It's been games with Anthony Davis. He might have 10 points, 5 rebounds. And then there's nights where he looks like, man, he's the best player on the team.
In fact, that's the next thing that the Knicks got to work out. They can find a way to implement load management where Brunson don't play himself out.
And I think that's why they got Towns. If Towns can fill in that spot. Exactly. And I think that's why but again, New York has turned it around because New York has solidified an official superstar. An official superstar. You either got to have great coaching, which I tell everybody the Rockets got, or you got to have some guys that carry you. And so, another example of a great organization versus an organization that's not figuring it out. Look at the Boston Celtics versus the Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers built their team and their empire around Kawhi Leonard. Talent, yes. All day. When he's there, Clark. But he's not there. It's 25 points a game. So when you put your team around that guy, you build your team around that guy on his 25 points a game. You put
up here trying to find identity. Right now, it looks like Norman Powell.
And you carrying the team, which it wasn't meant to do, just like the Lakers. Harden is carrying the team. A different version of Harden. Exactly. And so that team ain't built for Harden to be the number one option, but he got to do it because our man is not here. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, exactly. And so, you look at Boston. Like I tell people all the time, Boston, they get it. Like I couldn't understand until I started really paying attention to them. I couldn't understand. I'm like, why would you give Brown all that money first and not give Tatum? Well, you give Brown that money because when Tatum started doing his little, I just want to shoot, don't want to do nothing, 6'10", 45 points, 2 rebounds. This guy, we going to pay Brown because no matter what, number one, he don't have a problem being a number 2 guy. He don't have a problem doing the things that Tatum don't want to do. So we gotta pay him. And I start thinking that makes sense. We pay Tatum last, but they gotta win a championship first. Bring in Porzingis, like I told Cole. Porzingis, just like in New York and Dallas, can still play at a high level. But much like Kawhi Leonard, he can't do it for 60 games without getting hurt. So what do? Even though you can play at a high level, if you come over here, we're gonna pay you less. You're gonna come off the bench. Because, yeah.
So we need no minutes to play.
Well, here's the thing. You can still help us, but you got to take less of money. Understand the reason why you can't take the money of your talent level? You always hurt.
Yep.
So you can take this modified role.
Unspoken fact.
Right. You can take this modified role and you, like Cole said, you get this money based on what you show in the league. You can't play 82 games. So even though you still had a talent, we're not going to pay you for your talent. We're going to pay you for your availability.
You do it like the NFL. You start to iron these incentive-based things.
Exactly. It's like Cole said. Cole said it before. You pay guys based on what they're giving you or not. So Boston
on game checks like the NFL.
Right.
They use game checks.
Boston get it. This guy can still play at a high level, but he ain't going to be here.
Boston, they go smart. You know what I'm saying? Went off on Craig, well, holiday year, I was like, being smart is the hardest thing.
You feel me? How you change your identity?
And they actually probably got better with Holiday. Right. Now, fast forward to that. Milwaukee, I love Dame Leonard, but how is it playing out for you that you let Holiday walk to Boston? Because as soon as he got over there, not saying he's the direct reason, they win a championship.
When you have a point like Dame, you need another point like Drew to go ahead and balance that out.
Because he'll play both ends. But that's the difference. That's what I'm saying. There's a difference between an organization that gets it and an organization that's trying to figure it out. And it's no coincidence why Boston is a historic organization, because they get it. Look at the Houston Rockets right now. A byproduct of the Spurs and the Celtics is our head coach right now. Mm-hmm. Coming from those organizations, that dude understands this. And I told everybody, the turnaround for me, for the Rockets, was last year when he benched Green. And what he was trying to get Green to understand is, yes, you were high talent. I do accept the fact that you still have a different maturation process because you didn't go to college. But I need you to play this way. Now, you either can do that or we'll bench you. And I know they paying you a lot of money, and I know they plan on they're making you the guy. But I'm going to tell you this right now. There's certain things you got to do to get on this floor to play for me. Either you're going to do it, you're either going to respond, or you're not. I know you they guy. I know the organization looking at you, but when they benched Green, he came back. They went on an 11-game winning streak. They had a chance to win.
He was close to averaging 25.
And he ended up being the player of the month that last month of the season because he responded. The coach set a level up here. He responded. Now the rest of the team knows if he bench him, he can bench me.
Yeah, send me to Saskatchewan.
Exactly. And so
I'm going to Rio Grande in no time,
even as good as Green and Sagoon is, I still say there ain't nobody that can go out there and get up 40. How was the Rockets winning? They winning off of hustle, hard defense, young guys playing hard. I love Whitmore, but that's why he ain't get on the floor that much.
Before LP started really responding, they was gone, and Steven Adams getting a lot of minutes. Like, hey, man, I got a veteran coming. I got a guy
that he might not be as talented, but he gonna do what I tell him to do. Mm-hmm. And so the Rockets, they did something right. They got behind their coach, and so we got to start calling these organizations into for accountability.
Yeah, the player empowerment era kind of needs to be right.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's like, we can sit here and blame everybody, players and all this for that, but the organizations so that we talked about that was my debate of the year, and I think it should always be debated. But anyway, good topic. All right, let's touch a little bit on some of these topics, and then we'll get out of here. All right. Much to you, Cole, which quarterback should not get a contract extension? in the NFL this offseason out of Geno Smith and Brock Purdy? Yeah, you sneezed on that. Let's start with you, Cole. Who should not get a contract extension?
I automatically think Geno should get one, no matter what. It's not my New York Jet bias. It's just that I just see between the adversity that he had early in his career to now to win the quarterback against Rick Meyer or whoever that dude. That wasn't Rick Meyer. It was the Giants backup. I forgot the dude's name. Drew Lock. And he was supposed to come in as a great draft pick, and he won it. And then he took them to the playoffs, and they've been consistent every year. He definitely deserves it. I actually think Brock Purdy deserves it too. I just don't think he deserves a max contract. But I still think he's a great quarterback. Still think he's top 10, top 12 in the league. And I just think that they just dealt with a lot of injuries. I'm not opposed. He took them to the Super Bowl. Would have took them to 2 Super Bowls if he didn't get injured. So
you think both of them should get an extension?
I think both of them should get an extension. They're not gonna find anything. What are they gonna get better in San Fran too? Think about what's on the market right now. They're gonna bring Aaron Rodgers over there. They're gonna bring Kirk Cousins over there. They're gonna bring Dak Prescott and trade for him. Like, there's no other quarterback that's better than him.
Dak would be better than Purdy that time, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. It's something about the young man. I don't know. I come off the wrong way all the time, but I don't know. The young man named Purdy. I don't even speak that way. You feel me? Like Brock Purdy. What can we say? I mean, and as far as his performance based, it was a real low maintenance role. You know, they were a machine with CMC and everything back then. And that's where the rubber meets the road. When all them pieces get the flying going this way, that way, how do you right the ship? And they did a nosedive. And the thing is, that's indicative of his stewardship, of his of his command over everything. He's got to be a bigger voice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like the other moving parts of that team are more dynamic some kind of way. Some kind of way you see Bosa with the MAGA head on, shit like that. Yeah. And you don't really hear about Purdy. That's not his team. He kind of stepped into a veteran role on that team. Because think about it. Before that, it was Cap and Alex Smith and people like that. And they had some real nice dynamic pieces as far as the quarterback position goes. And it's like, and he hasn't been bad. I mean, let me not all the way disagree with Cole. He hasn't been bad, outright bad. Like Trevor Lawrence has been outright bad for a lot of time. Underachieving historically. Brock Purdy does what he does, but I think with the demand and with just the landscape of that division, they might need to sign Stafford or somebody. They could get somebody to do a slightly better job than that. If Stafford comes up as his tenure in LA, that would be a good solution, a good step in right there. Matt Stafford, thanks for that.
I'll take it with the Jets, yo. If you don't,
well, the question is this:
you take Brock for the Jets?
I'll take it with the Jets.
The question is, and this is why I got this on this. I think where Geno is at, that's where Brock is trying to get to. And what I mean by that is, okay, this year, this is why I don't think Brock deserves an extension right now. Because this year, this was the first year that we saw him, and to what Rose said to his credit, he wasn't bad. But now we don't have the McCaffrey all season. Now we don't have the Debo sign. Now we start to see, now we start to see without that well-built team, and it's not Brock's fault, he's probably not as good as people projected. That's not his fault. But that's why I say I don't think he deserves that contract extension. Whereas Geno, the layers have been pulled back. The players have left. Players have been hurt. And Geno, once again, has proven that without everything working like as good as it was for Purdy in San Francisco, Geno has proven to survive, comeback player of the year, Seattle has a chance to go to the playoffs again this year. That's why I think Geno, I posed that question. I don't think Brock is there yet. And it's not Brock's fault. This is Brock's first year where everything didn't go right. And he did okay. Like Rose said, he didn't do bad, but it's not time for an extension.
I mean, you don't have to give him an extension. I just think it only gets worse. If he plays good next year when everyone's healthy, you paying him a lot more. And the market value went up.
Yeah, but right now, if he goes to the Niners, because they could pitch that back like, well, you know, really, Let us worry about that if we got to pay you more. But you got to show us. And again, this is his first year. I'm not knocking the guy. I just don't think he deserves an extension right now.
And he doesn't turn the ball over a lot. It's just that I don't even think he spreads. I don't think he got ball placement or the long ball. I don't think he has enough command of the long ball. Because even Kittle's numbers are down. Even the guys who are in the camp that are usually pretty productive is not what you see Debo doing. Debo's a wide receiver, but what is he doing? Running jet sweeps.
Right.
They handing him the ball off. Yeah,
stuff.
so it's like it's something about his delivery, his decision making. Like I said, he's not turning the ball over, but that offense is stacked. Like it's a guy named Jennings or something gets a lot of touches out there, but he's not setting the world on fire either. I think everybody's numbers are down.
That's what everybody needs to find out.
And their top receiver is out. Brandon Aku is out. So
yeah, but again, Cole, he needs that season. He needs another season, or he needs that season where we say, okay, everything is perfect. You did well. That takes you from. That's why I said with Geno. Geno to me has gone from a backup to a game manager. Now he's earned the starting quarterback.
Just about Pro Bowl, yeah.
Whereas if things don't go right in Seattle, Geno has showed me I can make plays off of improvising. I can make plays when all my weapons ain't there. Brock is getting there, but he's not there yet. He hasn't proved that and it's not his fault. I'm not saying it's his fault, but he needs more time to prove that he made it to that next level.
I necessarily don't think he needs more time to prove when you're Mr. Irrelevant. When you're the last pick in the draft and you take your team to the Super Bowl and you've taken them to the NFC Championship game, and the only reason why you haven't had a really good season this year is because a lot of injuries occurred. I actually think he's deserving of a contract this year. You don't have to. I get that point. You don't have to. But if you look at the videotape, he's proven that he deserves it.
See, I don't think he has. I think he's done well when everybody's there.
I say that.
I need to see, because this season was, and I'm not even looking at, forget the draft status. We're in the NFL now. You're no longer
I was the last.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. That's what gets you paid in the NFL. When things don't go right, every quarterback gets that jump. When things don't go right, you make a name for yourself. Because when Tony Romo came in the league, nobody knew nothing about him. They had everything down there in Dallas. That first year, they didn't have no film or nothing. And then he comes back the next year. Now we got film. Now we have a couple injuries, and we find out he's not what we thought he was. And see, that's where Purdy is at. I can't say he took them to a Super Bowl. I can say
he played on the Super Bowl team.
He played a vital role with that great coaching from Shanahan and those great weapons. Christian McCaffrey was out this year. Debo Samuel wasn't there all the time. Kittle was there, but he was off. The defense was off.
Brandon Aku was out. Yeah.
Right, but I can't say. That's what I'm saying. I can't say he's at that next level yet, because all we know is without his weapons, he don't turn the ball over. But can he take them to the promised land? It remains to be seen.
2-minute drill.
Right.
I haven't seen him
when everything ain't going right, what can he do? Well, he don't turn the ball over. That's great. But that's a backup role. That's what backups are supposed to do. Don't turn the ball over. A backup, when they do it, when he come in on a 6-game injury report from your starting quarterback, can he get us to 3-3 till our quarterback gets us back? And if he does anything better than 3 games, he's a great backup. He's a good backup. Maybe he can be a starting quarterback. I think that's what happened to Bridgewater. Bridgewater never proved that when things weren't going right, he was the guy. That's where Purdy is at. Purdy has had a great introduction, but it's a Shanahan offense with arguably one of the best multi-purpose backs of all time, arguably one of the best receivers of this time, Debo Samuel. He also can play a right. And then you got one of the great offensive minds behind you. Well, now this year things didn't go with him. You didn't have everybody. You did okay, but you still haven't proven that I'm ready to take the mantle when things ain't perfect.
Yeah, shout out to the guy. Y'all heard? Shout your check. Yeah, undefeated season, state championship. That's why I ain't a comeback, man.
Shout out to my man.
I like it.
All right, I want to ask this debate because it's a lot of, we're going to stay in football and we're going to move to a few more topics and we're going to get out of here. All right. Right now, is Saquon Barkley better than Derrick Henry in your eye? Let's start with you.
I gotta go with the obvious. Yes. I got like he's a lot of times. I'm not gonna lie, just watching this season unfold, he looks like the greatest back I've ever seen. He's like a bigger Marshall Faulk. You know what I mean? He's like a bigger Marshall Faulk out there. I'm telling you, there's a lot of what I see him do because, especially if that record falls. If Eric Dickerson record fall this year and he gives out, I mean, runs the other day on Pittsburgh, man. I'm not telling you, it's like he just his acceleration is just crazy, and his vision. It's so many things about the man's game that's insane. Taking nothing away from King Henry. King Henry is a monster, but at the same time, you got bigger problems if you got to face Saquon Barkley. I mean, with Derrick Henry, all you got to keep in mind of is he's gonna keep coming. He's gonna keep coming. He's gonna keep coming. No matter how many times you hit him, it don't matter how many times you stuff him, you bottle him up, he's gonna keep coming. Saquon Barkley, you don't know what this guy gonna do. He might hurl you backward. He might do a somersault. This nigga might slide. I ain't no telling. Like I said, he does video game shit that I ain't seen anybody do.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He might not keep coming if Baltimore don't get him.
Like folks in channel, you're gonna be mad at me, but he make Jalen Hurts look a whole lot better than he is.
Well,
Jalen Hurts ain't that good, man.
That's for a deeper conversation because I actually think that the Eagles right now have taken the mantle as the best team in football. Now, that's how I feel. I think Kansas City has found ways to win. The Eagles look more matched and more well-rounded on both sides of the ball. Quiet. But, Cole, what do you think? Right now, is Saquon better than Derrick Henry? It's a debate.
I think Saquon's better than Derrick Henry. I just think natural talent. I think he's more talented than Derrick Henry. Who has the better career? You would say Henry has a better career right now.
Oh, definitely. Right.
But right now, Saquon is definitely having the better year because he's on track. If he has 2 games of, I think, 135, he breaks the all-time rushing record by Eric Dickerson for a season. But not just that. I just think he could be. He's a 4-down back. Derrick Henry is a 3-down back. So
there you go.
That's the debate right there.
His versatility just bumped.
And I think to what you just said, Ro, to what y'all both said, I think Saquon. I've always seen Saquon can be a multi-purpose back. He catches, he runs, he blocks. And I actually think I'm impressed with Philadelphia. I think what we're seeing from Saquon, he just needs to give it a quality team. And I think that's why his numbers. I think he's done this. I just don't think New York had anything else to put around him to compliment him, get the defense to stop focusing on him. I think he's better right now. I think, and it's no disrespect to Derrick Henry, I think both of them are going to be in the Pro Bowl. And both teams have a chance to make some happen in the playoffs. I just look at what the Eagles are doing and what he's doing, it matches perfectly. I just think it matches perfectly. I think he runs the ball well, but I think that's what Jalen needs. Instead of forcing Jalen to throw the ball down the field, it's either Jalen run, previous to Barkley getting there, it's either Jalen runs with a play that's called for him to run, or he throws the ball down the field. Now you can check down to a guy that can make a play out in the flat.
Like, right. Not as athletic as like a Vick, but it's like when you look at that, it reminds you of that backfield when it was like Dunn and Vick, and they had all these backs that you don't know what's gonna happen. You can't game plan nothing like that. He might line up in a 5 wide receiver set and cook a big safety or a linebacker. It's a matchup.
It's a nightmare. And I think Philadelphia did a great job of bringing him in. I mean, shout out to the Giants. I think they knew they couldn't do nothing, but in terms of what Philadelphia's doing, I think it's a perfect fit. I think Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia has surged to me as the best team. And I've been a big proponent of the Lions and Kansas City. I'm just seeing they're looking mortal to me.
That's going to be a spot at the last few
years. Right. But I think Philadelphia surged at the right time. All right. I want to get to this topic because Chuck brought it up, and I don't want to get past it because I've asked this question. And the national media, thank God for DWB because the national media is not asking this question enough. They may have talked about this topic. But the trend continues in Chicago. Drafted Mitch Trubisky in 2017. And what I mean by Chicago, ladies and gentlemen, I mean the Chicago Bears. What is going on with them with quarterbacks? Just like we talked about Cleveland earlier. Drafted Mitch Trubisky. 2017. Head coach John Fox was fired 2017. Drafted Justin Fields in 2021. Fired the 2021 head coach Matt Nagy. Drafted Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams right now 2024. Matt Eberflus fired. What is the issue that's going on with Chicago? I'm interested to hear, not just from the panel, but in the chat. But let's start with you, Cole. Is there a correlation there? And Chuck brought it up. And I put this on here a while, and me and Chuck were thinking the same thing. Is there some correlation in terms of this organization of quarterback play, quarterback draft? What is going on in Chicago? Do you think it's an issue, or is it just young quarterbacks, young coaches not being able to connect with young quarterbacks? Because we talked about similar in Cleveland. It might be that in Cleveland. But go ahead, Cole.
I think that when it comes down to it, I think that a lot of these coaches don't do the research when it comes to what style of play a quarterback needs, what type of players you want to put around that person, like what type of leadership. Like you talked about earlier, like there's certain people that are leaders. Like when you have like a Ray Lewis on the team, if you have like Curtis Martin on the team, with Damian Tomlinson, like whatever. I just don't feel like Chicago's been a stable organization. I don't think that they know what type of style of offense they want to go with. Since Eberflus has been there, they've just been disarray. And I just think that I blame management just for the way that the team has been moving. So that's in my honest opinion. I don't think it's them drafting bad quarterbacks. I think it has a lot to do with the development. I think it's a lot to do with what you're putting around people. I think it's a lot to do with the expectation. It's a lot. It's a lot. But management, ultimately, it comes down to management. I just think they just did a horrible job of putting together the right offensive coordinators for what the quarterback needs, the right system as far as like taking the pressure off a young quarterback with a lot of the run game and play action passes. Play action passes are the easiest. Even if you want to take it and say you're playing Madden, like the easiest passes to make are the play action passes because you get to take your time and scan the field. And I think that they haven't put him in positions like he's always getting sacked. I feel like he's probably the most sacked quarterback in the league this year, probably. So,
what you think?
Yeah, I forget which one of you said it. As a matter of fact, we kind of visited topic before. They are an organization that does not need to draft. I think their talent evaluation is fine, but they don't need to waste draft picks on a quarterback. If that makes any sense. I don't mean as far as them being busts or bad quarterbacks, except for Trubisky. But I feel like they need a Brian Hoyer. They are used to a quarterback that is a serviceable guy. I don't think they need him. Like, don't have him looking good. But because they need a vet. You know what I'm saying? They just need a vet. A vet. Well, Brian Hoyer is a terrible example. I apologize. But they look better. They look better with like Jay Cutler, people like that out there who at least had balls enough to just got to get out there and do their own thing.
Right.
So it's like, now Kirk ain't got no ball. Kirk terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like Kirk Cousins, like I told Atlanta, my partner, I told him and let Bip up and steal it. I said that the second day of the year. I said, man, look, Kirk Cousins steal it. I don't care what his numbers say.
We're gonna talk
That's
about
a
that
fluke.
next too.
But in Chicago, it's definitely it's a cultural thing. It's definitely in the front office because at least you would have thought that after Justin Fields or somebody, they figure, okay, we need to start drafting some linemen high. We need to start drafting some guards and some tackles pretty high. We need to spend some money on them and stop loading the wagon and putting all this on these young quarterbacks and we throwing in the fire immediately. Because they starting them all immediately. Think about it. Ain't nobody, they don't get to play behind nobody. They just get out there and they're like, okay, Jesus is here. And it's like, that boy got numbers, but it's like, they got to tie his number at USC. I threw him to the Wolves out here. Boys got Jaden Daniels making him look like he wasn't even worthy of any of that. You know what I'm saying?
And it's funny, and I don't mean to cut you off and say that, because that's what I was going to refer to, Washington versus Chicago.
Oh, man, that's a perfect example. Washington has a perfect system.
Right.
But Jaden Daniels...
And to say to both of y'all what y'all said, Cole brought up a good point, and I'm going to bring up a good point you brought. I think it's both of what y'all said. Cole said, maybe it has something to do with them not bringing in the outright offensive coordinator. You said, maybe it has something to do with them in terms of him letting these young quarterbacks go lead. Either way it goes, the way what both of y'all are saying is somebody in that organization when it comes to these quarterbacks are not mapping out what does this guy do great, how can we highlight his strengths, and how to do what the Commanders have done. If they've done their homework on these young kids, they have set up an offensive structure that highlights what he does best. You rarely see him out there looking uncomfortable. Now, that's the credit to him, but that organization in Washington has done a good job of making him look like he deserves to be out there.
He doesn't fluster.
It
He
looks
doesn't make
like,
rolls he
yeah,
can't make.
it looks like they said, here's what he does best when we draft offensive linemen, when we go to free agency, we need to find linemen that fit his skill set. Here's the offense that he's been successful at. We need to find guys that can play around him in that offense successfully. We're going to run him, design plays. We're going to let him make plays down the field, but we're not going to overload him on his arm trying to make plays. Versus, I think Chicago just threw Caleb Williams out there and said, you're talented enough.
Save us,
You're
man.
talented enough. Right. You go out there and do it. You know, and I think both of y'all, that's the great point. I think Chicago, some teams, and it's a management issue. Some teams are just not good breeding grounds for young quarterbacks. Now, maybe I shouldn't use breeding grounds, but cultivate. They don't cultivate
The
young
talent, right.
talent like that. Chicago, big city market, probably wants to win right now. Probably should go get a
we can
free
take
agent.
them back because when Lovey had them clapping when they went to that Super Bowl, who was the quarterback then? Cutler.
Yeah.
That was Cutler, and
Yeah.
they had Forte and Devin Hester.
But again,
They had different philosophies.
yeah,
They didn't have
and they
that much.
built They
That's
built
right.
that team
That's
for Cutler.
That's right.
And
Another
so,
job, little bit shit alone.
right. So, I go to basketball. One thing, it's got to be Sam Preston if he's still there with the Oklahoma City Thunder. They know how to draft him. They just flat out get knowing how to draft him.
Only crowd in OKC is smart.
Exactly.
The only
And-
crowd they
and-
got.
I know it's Sam Presley. I've said it for years with the Ravens. The Ravens, whether it was Newsom or whoever's in there, somebody knows how to go in that third round and find talent that nobody puts in first and second round.
And you know who else was good at that? Belichick. Belichick
Yeah.
would take the bummiest player, but he knew
Right.
you're only going to play outside linebacker, and you're only going to play
Right.
on third downs, but you're going to look like an all-star doing it because you're
Right,
good.
right.
You're
Big
strength.
fan.
And I'll follow that.
Quarterback.
I'll follow behind that with the San Antonio Spurs. For years,
Yes, sir.
they had a market. They had somebody in their organization that know how to recruit across the world. They were bringing in players that nobody really heard of.
Hopefully, yeah.
You know, nobody even putting in Bruce Bowen for the role that they had in playing. Somebody figured out the direction and how to recruit. Chicago has proven that they don't know how to develop young quarterbacks. So maybe they should look into spending money for a big free agent. You know, because they just or get people in there that know how to draft, know how to, cultivate these young quarterbacks. But they just have proven that they just can't do it.
I agree.
Right.
So these young quarterbacks.
Yeah, you need a stopgap. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is-
Yeah. Yeah.
He said,
Yeah.
man, watch Drew almost win.
Yeah. Yeah.
He get hurt.
And to your credit, Andy Reid did it in Kansas City. They didn't unleash Mahomes
No.
quickly.
and Alex Smith there.
Yeah,
Winning
yeah.
games.
They developed him. Yeah. Yeah.
So, Chicago don't have no
Yeah. 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 So,
Get after you play this off, boy. Okay. What you play? Quarterback? Go on, stand over there. Stand over there. Throw the ball, boy.
all right, let's stay in the NFL. Then we do two more topics and we get out of here. We got a lot of shout outs. All right. I got to ask this question now to Cole's point. And Ro, you mentioned something about it. Which contract looks worse now, Deshaun Watson or Kirk Cousins? Let's start with you, though.
Yeah, I got to go on Rocky Cole. That's Cleveland, like I said, that's on Cleveland most of that's on Deshaun. So like I said, my issue is not with Deshaun. Get your money. However, Ooh, that deal. And just with that, with the
Hold
situation
on, hold on.
around
Was it a bad deal at first, or it just come out to be a bad deal because he underperformed?
definitely a bad deal the way he did perform. Because at the end of the day, if he had worked out, if everything had worked out
It'd look
perfectly,
great.
Cleveland would have easily been one of the top teams in the AFC. Like to this day, if that had panned out, off-field issues hadn't had. Kirk Cousins been stealing. I've been saying it since day one.
That's
you know
why
what I'm
it's
saying?
worth
And the
it,
thing
because
is, with Cousins, you
they-
knew what
they
you were
knew,
getting.
right.
Everybody knew leaving Minnesota, wherever he was before,
And
that was
that's what
exactly what you were getting.
And see, I think, to your point, I don't mean to cut you off. That's why I think it's Cousins, because I think everybody's surprised at Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. With Kirk
Being
Cousins,
that what he showed us in Houston.
with Kirk Cousins, you didn't expect much. And now that the water halfway out the bottom now, y'all go on ahead, just throw Fields out there. This boy, I mean, not Fields, you throw Penix out there. Penix is ready. Y'all made him sit long enough, and then y'all rolled that just about long. But at the same time, did you overpay though? You could have got his punk ass to sign for a whole lot less. He don't deserve a starting job nowhere. His name is Kirk Cousins.
Exactly.
He don't play like nobody's cousin.
Cole, what you think? Who got the worst contract?
I think Deshaun Watson by far. I still think I think Kirk Cousins just came off of ACL. He started the season off hot. There were glimpses of him being pretty good again. I'm not just hating on Deshaun Watson. I just think that he hasn't shown me a glimpse of anything. He showed me a glimpse of what he should be doing next, which is hanging them shoes up and trying to figure out how he's going to stay in the league as a coach or as a quarterback coach or something. But I think it's a wrap for him, man. I don't think he sets foot in another NFL stadium. And if he does,
But like hold on, I don't mean to interrupt. I'm gonna ask you like I asked Ro. At the beginning, was it a bad contract from the beginning? Not when we found out now. Of course, when we found out now, it's like Cleveland, you made a mistake. But at the beginning, and that's what I said. At the beginning, he played well in Houston. He went to a Pro Bowl. He played well in Houston.
No,
That's
I'm
what I
going
thought.
to respond to it. I don't think it was a bad contract. I think it was a bad trade transaction. I think what they gave up for him, I don't think the contract was bad. I think what they gave up for him, the compensation, was what makes everything super bad.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
But the contract's not bad. I think
it's bad because of it. My point is, it's bad for Watson because we thought he was better than this.
Well, and then you know what else?
And Kirk Cousins, to me, they know, like Rose said, they should have known that they were overpaying because he never got Minnesota, and that's when the NFC North was weak. That's when Detroit hadn't figured it out. Green Bay was suffering after Rodgers, and then Chicago, they just been bad.
But did Atlanta pay him?
Get to the playoffs. Detroit was getting to the
Did Atlanta pay him or did they trade for him?
It doesn't matter. Why would you even bring him over there? I think you should have just stuck with Penix from the beginning.
I don't
think that's a young guy you should have took a chance on.
I think they drafted their quarterback that they wanted, and they said, "Hey, let's slowly bring him in and bring in someone who's a veteran who could possibly still take us to the playoff this year. And then your contract is about to end next year." That's why I think they traded for him. I want to say they traded for him. And because his contract's about to come up, that's not a bad contract. If they traded for him, it's about to expire.
So Minnesota gave him that. So he's living out for Minnesota's contract. That's what you're saying? Atlanta didn't give him no more money.
I don't think Atlanta has to. I'm looking it up in Gemini right now. Hold on.
And the other thing that I don't know, it fleeced. I don't know, the Watson deal kind of fleeced because the thing is, Watson sat for a long time while they were sorting this mess out. It was partially.
Kirk Cousins signed a whole year, $180 million contract with the Falcons.
Tell them Falcons I play quarterback too, Jack. Look, tell them I can throw the ball to nobody.
And again, if we look at what Deshaun Watson was,
it runs through 4 years. I'm sorry.
Right. So we look at what Deshaun Watson was before Cleveland versus what Kirk Cousins was at Minnesota. I think the Atlanta deal is the worst deal because Deshaun Watson has disappointed us. He played to a high level in Houston.
But you know
But
what?
Deshaun Watson played way better than Kirk Cousins,
I'm gonna ask you.
in my opinion.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Know why Deshaun Watson's contract is way worse too? It's because you can't trade that. Don't no one want that. With the stuff that comes off the field.
So you think somebody gonna want Cousins?
I think they'll take.
He just got bit for a rookie.
I think I can see several teams taking Kirk Cousins. I can see the
Who?
49ers.
Yeah, the Jets.
Move on for
The
Purdy.
Jets, and they won't win again.
I'm gonna break it down. I can see the 49ers doing it for Purdy.
No. You might as well ride with Purdy. Listen, you might as well ride with Purdy if you're gonna do that.
Hold on. I can see them taking it and not pay Purdy because Purdy could demand more. He's already locked in for a lower end of the contract that most quarterbacks get. That's number one. Number two, I can see Tennessee Titans. They've been trashed for a while, but he's way better than what you call it.
Why would he's not better than the guys they got down there?
Who Levis?
Tennessee, Cousins, he's not. What has he done?
Wait. Did you just say, Baker, that Kirk Cousins is not better than Will Levis?
Yes, I think they're the same.
Wow, man. What you drinking in that eggnog over there, yo? What you drinking over there? What you drinking in that eggnog over there, yo?
What is? Hold on, wait. Tell me this. What do you think, especially after what's going on in Atlanta? What do you think Kirk Cousins deserves? Why would another team pick him up as a starting quarterback?
He's a starter. He's
okay, Cole. That's hold on. Let me stop you right there. That's where you lose the debate. He just lost his job with a team that's trying to go to the playoffs that still has a chance to go to the playoffs. Think about this. They are benching him. You know what they're saying in Atlanta? This guy that we paid all this money, we think that a rookie has a better chance of getting us to the playoffs.
I'm going to ask you a question, Baker.
No, let me finish. Cole is right there. Cole is right there. Atlanta is telling you.
I'm going to ask you this. Just answer this one question before you go. Would you start him over Baker Mayfield?
Who?
Cousins.
No. That's how bad Cousins is to me.
Wow. I don't think he.
No, and I don't like Baker Mayfield. No, I'm not a hater, dude. I'm not a hater. I'm telling you this right now. It looks bad. Like Cole, it's almost just as bad as Deshaun Watson. Here's a guy that's a certified veteran that just got millions of dollars. He's being benched for a team who has a chance to make it in the playoffs. They're tied with Tampa Bay. They have the tiebreaker for the NFC South. They're saying a seasoned veteran like Kirk Cousins, who we just paid, we're going to bench. He's done in Atlanta. They're benching him, and they have a chance to go to the playoffs. They're telling you in the rest of the league
They're going in
that we're going with Mike Penix, a guy that's been on the bench all year. They're telling you this $100 million guy that we paid, we don't think he can play. We got a chance to win a division against Tampa Bay because we had the tiebreaker with our rookie that we thought wasn't ready. That's just as worse as Deshaun Watson. So, and this guy that's been to the playoffs with Minnesota multiple times, the Falcons are telling you he's done. You want to talk about Deshaun Watson? The Falcons are telling you they have a chance to go to the playoffs, and they're benching him. And they're putting in the guys. Listen, they're putting in the guys who didn't play all year. They're telling you in the league, we think the guy that didn't play all year can get us to the playoffs.
I don't
yeah, you said Watson is finished. I think that's a statement that's saying this guy is finished.
I don't think he's
because I would say this is what I would say. If I'm paying him $100 million, you damn right he's going to play because he got a better chance to get. The Falcons are telling you he's done. They're telling the league. They have the tiebreaker. Both of them are 9-7. They have the tiebreaker over. It's going to come down to the wire between them and Tampa Bay. They're telling the rest of the league we're going with the rookie.
At worst,
with 2 or 3 games left, that's telling me he's done. That's telling me he's done. At least Watson got hurt.
I didn't know he signed for such egregious money.
I
was seeing my judgment.
If you sign him, listen. If you sign him, it's just like the Giants did with Daniel Jones. They kept giving him a chance, but we paid him all that money. They're not even doing it. This is Cousins' first year in Atlanta, and they're benching him for a guy they didn't play all year to go to the playoffs. That's a sign that tell me They think Kirk Cousins is done.
Damaged goods.
Thank you. And they just paid him.
Because like you just said, Cole, he coming off of ACL. He coming off some things. There's some things in that Carfax report, you know what I'm saying, gonna come to light. Now, ain't nobody gonna be a Saskatchewan.
They're going with a rookie they think can get them to the playoffs and win the division over a guy they just paid $100 million. To me, that's saying he's done, right?
Done. That's saying thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you. You want to sit there and talk about Watson? At least he got hurt.
Look, I'll tell you this. This is one thing that's so tough. Or when them niggas get those contracts, it's working for Cleveland.
But that is true. That is true. That is true.
After the son got that big
That set the precedent. That set the precedent.
Set the bar high.
Everybody.
And that's my point, Chuck. Before he went to Cleveland, that's them telling him that's how good he was, or that's how they felt he was. He earned it. He earned it. Now, he's been a disappointment, to Cole's point. But the Falcons are telling you and the rest of the league he's not working.
We going to the playoffs and you
We
ain't
trying to
even
go to the playoffs, and we rather put in the rookie. The Falcons are telling you he's done. So you're sitting up here telling me he go to San Francisco and start. Rethink that, dude. You really think San Francisco? You really think San Francisco gonna throw away Purdy to bring this guy in?
Gonna do it. I'm just saying there's teams that he could go play for. There's
Name one.
There's Tennessee.
Because the Falcons are telling you a veteran quarterback. Well, I can go play for the Raiders, Cole. They need anybody.
It's Cleveland.
It's not an upgrade.
They
telling you that. They telling you that. I mean, they telling you they start a rookie to get to the playoffs. Cole.
That is a big testament to think about. Coach Stefanski in Cleveland never ever wavered in his support of Watson. You know what I'm saying? That's a damn sight better than Kirk Cousins got in Atlanta.
Kirk Cousins went to Atlanta his first year, signed a big contract, and they said, you know what? We can't go to the playoffs with him.
Everything you just said is just look at Russell Wilson. You go to the right team, the right place. All that is
well. I tell you what,
Russell Wilson has won. That's different.
I tell you what, they ain't bench Russell Wilson for a rookie in Denver.
But they did bench him.
They ain't bench him for no rookie.
Who was the back?
And they had and Denver didn't have a chance to go to the playoffs. Atlanta is Cole, get past your fandom. We're gonna go to the next topic. Get past your fanaticism and just look at what the Falcons are telling the rest of the league right now. Just look at what they're saying.
I'd rather be benched for a rookie that's a first round pick. When Russell Wilson was benched, he was benched for I don't know who he was benched for. I don't even know if that dude is still in the league.
Yeah, and guess what? Denver ain't have a chance to go to playoffs. Atlanta is saying we believe for us to go to the playoffs, we pitched $160 million man for our rookie. We have a chance to win the division. We'd rather go with our rookie than to go with this guy. The guy that you say took Minnesota to the playoffs all those years. They're telling you that he's not good. They're telling the rest of the league he's not good.
We gonna see.
He had Jefferson right before.
Yeah, he had Justin Jefferson. Look at what Sam Darnold doing with Justin Jefferson. That should let you know Cousins ain't it. But Cole want to tell me he can go to say, why in the hell would San Francisco throw Purdy away for that? For a guy that just got benched for penny?
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to advocate for my man Watson contract a little harder than you're advocating for my man Kirk. Come on,
it's true hatred, man. It's hatred, man. It's hatred. He just happy that he's right on something. So he gonna drive it to the ground with his debate of the year. I said Watson wasn't nothing, and now I'm gonna ride with it. And then he gonna advocate for Cousins. Get out of here, man.
It's one thing to give him the contract, but for give up all those draft picks too, nah. And your man MB, yo, he got ejected out the game, yo. He didn't want to play. He got ejected on purpose. Yo. He's a bum, yo. I can't stand MB, yo. He a bum.
Let's do one NBA topic and then let's get out of here, man.
Hey, so what's the score in that game you watching, Cole?
He just flopped. And then he gets mad because he's flopping.
He didn't be so mad he didn't want to take the score.
Yo, Embiid is trash, yo. They should trade him for Zion, yo. They should trade him for Zion, yo. Be like, yo, just take him. I'll take my.
Hey, let's get to one NBA topic and let's go. Hey, I'm very interested to ask both of y'all this question about the Golden State Warriors. All right, they looking to add another star to Steph Curry. Who should that be? Who would be a good compliment? Clay is gone. They need somebody else, and they talking about it. It's been in the media out there in San Francisco. They want to add another star. Who would fit that mix in Golden State? Let's start with you, Cole, and we'll come back to you.
I personally think they need someone young. I heard Jimmy Butler. I heard LeBron. I mean, if they do LeBron, I think it's to sell tickets. I think they can win a lot of games. I just don't know if they'll come out the West. I think Jimmy Butler be good, but I think Jimmy Butler's just playing for that last contract. I personally think someone like LaMelo Ball, Zach LaVine, like they gotta go young. They gotta go somewhere that they can transfer power over as Steph gets older, that can take over games at times.
Right.
You know, like I like LaMelo over there. I think LaMelo would be perfect the way that he penetrates and kicks out for Curry. I think I like what's his name? I like even Fox, De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, Chuck just said that. That's a great pick.
Yeah.
Both of those make sense.
I think Tyrese Halliburton.
Or if they can still Devin Booker. If they can still Devin Booker by giving up a couple of things like Devin Booker and Draymond, and, you know, they'd be nice together.
What you think?
Booker's a player, but I don't know. I think you need another point. I think you if you could get like a Halliburton, Tyrese Halliburton, I like maybe Donovan Mitchell, or worst case scenario, if you could do like if you could find a way to wrestle Drew away from
Boston.
Yeah, if you could wrestle Drew away from Boston. No, I don't think they're gonna let him go. But like somebody in that particular vein, maybe Derek White from Boston. But it's like they need a Steph doesn't need to play point. They could find a way to run him off screen like Reggie did later in his career and just spot up.
And that's why I think with Chuck saying 100%, and I think Cole is on the right track. I've said this before about them. They know that he is not, and people don't take this wrong. I don't look at him as a scorer. I look at him as a shooter. To preserve his career, they need to get him off the ball. That's why I think Fox would be perfect. I think LaMelo, I didn't even think about LaMelo
Ball.
Because at the end of the day, that might make the most sense, because I actually think Sacramento, they have something there. They may need to just tweak and keep going.
Yeah.
Charlotte doesn't have anything. That guy, and that's LaMelo, right, from Charlotte, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're not going anywhere. He's a West Coast guy. Of course. And LaMelo can make, much like Fox, they can make their own shots. That's what Golden State always needed with that mix. That's why KD worked with that mix.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when Golden State was even trying to get hard? Because they need somebody that can get their own shot.
They could get Buddy out of Milwaukee. I don't know if Milwaukee's going to move Buddy, but I feel different too.
Well, it is.
Middleton.
I don't like him, but I understand why he would go over there. But I just think, between even Halliburton, I think Halliburton, Fox, and LaMelo, I think all three are perfect, because that's how you're going to sustain Steph. Get him off the ball. Just let him shoot. And if it's a young guy, that's another piece that you can build after Steph. And here's the thing. You're grooming. And at the end of the day, you can keep Steph around, because the young guy will take the mantle. And let Steph sit there and spot him. I think all three of them.
Well, you strike while the mantle's hot. I personally don't think. I'm hearing rumblings from following the fan page on the 76ers that they're not a big fan of Embiid as much like they used to be.
Well, they got to be getting tired. Yeah, they got to be getting tired.
Throw Kuminga, throw the Porzingis or whatever that point guard is, that they're the guard that they have. Some couple of draft picks. Yeah, and that Jackson kid, Trace, whatever it is, and take a chance and see if Philly is willing to take five, 6 young players. Embiid can shine with Curry, you know, or even take Zion and Ingram and
I
say,
think
hey,
about
all
like
young players.
England.
But they gotta think about the future. Like I think the issue with the
Yeah.
NBA where a lot of these things go wrong is that they
Yeah.
hold on to some of these players too long. Like
Right.
Lakers got to do something quicker. They're gonna be looking like
Yeah.
the Knicks for like the next 10 years, where no one's gonna come to them to rebuild the team.
I'll tell you what, Chuck, to your idea, Chuck said something that makes sense. If Golden State can pull off one of those guys we talking about with the Ingram, that's a complete reboot, and that looks good.
That's a wrap.
That looks good. I like that because he can get his own shot. Anything, I think if you Golden State, you say to yourself, how much longer do we think Steph has? If he can take a reduced role and just shooting, right. I think Ingram, I think any of those guys that we mentioned, I think Steph is welcome. And I think it would be great for Golden State because you have to start looking past this dynasty is getting ready, this regime is getting ready to close out. So, you know, and so you have to, but you got a guy that can still sell seats. You got a guy that can still shoot at a high level. But how long you going to keep running them off the screen? Why don't you do like what Dallas is doing with Clay? Just sit in the corner. We're going to sit you on Luka's right side. We can sit you on either hand with Kyrie. And just sit over there and make three. You don't need to run off screens. Just sit in the corner.
You know what's interesting?
Right. Hey, Luka loves to pass with his right hand. Just sit right there. Because they're going to have to look. And you just sit in that corner and you make them shots.
You know what's interesting, though? Is the fact that this might be the first time in 3 decades where the NBA might not have a star to build around. Like we had Jordan, we had Kobe, we had Magic, we had LeBron. But after LeBron leaves and Curry leaves, there's nobody that's really like, hey, I want to see the NBA. You know?
Well, they want Edwards to take that spot. They want the kid. They want what's his name to take it. The dude that's in Utah. I mean, not in Utah, Cleveland. The one that went from Utah. Donovan. They want him to take it. They want Bronson to take it, but Bronson needs a few more seasons.
I thought they wanted to take it.
Yeah, but he's not living up to it. He should.
If they don't do it, they need a dynasty like how Detroit.
Well, I'm gonna tell you who messed it up. I'm gonna tell you who messed it up. Who they really wanted to take it was Morant. It was Morant. And he had it. And see, it's not gonna look well now for him because you can't go from Steph to Ja because Steph has this clean image. LeBron has his clean image. It was Morant, man, that messed it up.
Like NBA is really looking like
he's close, but he's not polarizing like they want him to be.
The problem is, that's what I'm saying. That's that OKC problem. They need to get him out into a big market and do what he's doing.
Yeah, they don't want it in a small market.
Didn't he play for the Clippers at first?
No, he
didn't play for the Clippers. He got traded.
That's right. He did. Now,
I think it was.
Now, they also want what's the thing to do it. He could do it, but they also want Wemby. They want Wemby to do it because of his size, but he has no personality.
But see, the more they talk to Ant put his foot in my mouth, talking bad.
They want. It's easy to sell with Wemby, but he's in San Antonio. You can't. Even with Duncan, that's the problem they had with Duncan. He wasn't polarized. He was good, but he was boring.
You feel me? That's why you think of Kobe. You don't think of Kobe and timid.
Right. Yeah, right.
Very efficient 5, like a dominant 5. It's like really surprised, like, oh, really? That guy.
All right, let's get one more topic, then shout out as we get out of here. All right, I got to break this up because y'all know I'm a big boxing fan, but let's talk about Usyk. Usyk defeats Fury in a rematch. Unanimous decision to retain, and he didn't go for undisputed again. He got stripped of the IBF. Daniel Dubois has that, but he retained his WBC, WBA, and WBO. Very durable fight. I caught snippets of it. Usyk Unanimous decision, 116 to 112 by all four judges. Now, my question to you guys is this. Should he now be included as far as one of the heavyweight greats? He beat Anthony Joshua twice.
Nah,
He took down Fury
it was
twice. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, Cole. And here's the thing. And I get on you about this all the time. He's undefeated. He's undisputed. He's reached the highest. Listen, here's the thing. He's undisputed in two weight classes, cruiserweight and heavyweight. It's hard. Like, it's even hard not to put him pound for pound number one because you got him undisputed, two weight classes, undefeated. He went from cruiserweight to heavyweight. You got Crawford, who did the same thing at the super lightweight, 140 to 147. And then you got Inu, who's done it in two divisions. Usyk, I think he has to be in that conversation because he's reached the highest mountain, and he's not really a full heavyweight. I mean, as controversial as his last fight was with Fury, some people say Fury won his fight. He beat Joshua, who everybody thought at the time was the best heavyweight, twice. He beat Fury twice.
Mm-hmm.
And both of those two guys, Fury was the baddest man on the planet at one time. Beat Durant, was the only person to get up from Deontay Wilder's punch. Nobody thought anybody could beat Fury at one time. He undisputed, Paul. He's undefeated.
He watched Wilder.
Exactly.
No, I think stat wise and everything. And I watched the fight. It was a great fight. And Wilder too. I've been hearing rumors that he's been using some type of gloves that give him extra extension. The way I've been hearing a lot of rumors about stuff like that. But I will say, it's just hard for me to judge the heavyweight division coming from the age of watching boxing with my grandfather in the 80s and 90s and so forth, man. Like,
but that's what I'm saying.
All-time great. You know?
I used to do the same thing with Lennox Lewis, but it's not Lennox's fault that the heavyweight division was weak. It's not Usyk's fault. It's not Usyk's fault.
It's like saying if these players in the NBA put up great numbers now, like, can we compare the players back in the day? Back in the day, people played defense. People were competitive. Like, I feel like nowadays it's like open up the lane, shoot your three, do whatever. Like, it's like people play with no care. And it's the same thing
you said it on this podcast. You think Fury is the best. I mean, we even had this conversation that Fury being one of the best heavyweights of all time. He beat Fury twice.
He beat Fury twice, yes, and I'm not taking that away. I give him his credit. Can he?
I mean, here's the thing. My question to you is, for him not to be put in there, what more does Usyk have to do?
No. I think he's the best heavyweight out right now. But like, if I think about it, I'm like, will he beat Holyfield? Will he beat Foreman?
So what you're saying is his acknowledgement.
I think he beats Holyfield. Go ahead, bro.
His acknowledgement in this era of boxing, he's certainly
he's certainly the best.
More than all-time great from what I've witnessed before. That's what I kind of connect with that. I connect with that. I can't really quite place him there just because.
Give me an example. Who does he not beat from the old time era?
Well, he didn't beat Lennox. He didn't beat Lennox. No way.
I don't think he beats Leonard. I don't think he beats George Foreman. I don't think he beats Holyfield. I think he
watches Holyfield. I disagree with that terribly. I think he watches Holyfield. Holyfield was a man. Yeah, but that's the point. Holyfield, like him, was a cruiserweight. He didn't have the success at heavyweight that Usyk had. Holyfield got beat a bunch of times.
I don't think.
No.
I don't think.
No.
Like, Usyk moves great. I mean,
skill-wise, it's not that many people better than Usyk.
You know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of Tommy Morrison or something like that. A little more technically sound. Maybe a little bit more technically sound.
No,
maybe in the
problem game with us, our age, we just love the 80s and 90s. That's just the problem. Like, we just, we just love the 80s and 90s. We do. Like, all right, listen. I don't think nobody could beat the 80s 49ers, even though New England probably could. But I'm right. That's why I asked y'all this, because he would destroy Holyfield.
You know what? Yeah, we can't get a unanimous on this because it's like I agree with both of you, like in that particular regard. Not necessarily about Holy, but just as far as he occupies the area. His success is irrefutable.
He don't beat Ali. I agree with that. I don't think he beats George Foreman.
I don't think he beats Kenneth Holmes.
Who is Kenneth Holmes?
Larry Holmes.
Larry Holmes. I'm sorry. I'm thinking. Yeah, sorry.
He's like Kenny Norton or Kenny Norton.
I think he beats Ken Norton.
You see, it's the eras to me. Because, like I said, you take him, throw him back in that era. Because you throw Fury in that era when we had the golden age of heavyweights like that. It just doesn't match up with even at 6'9" with all this size and all this power.
My question to you is, who does he not beat in that era?
You go down there, he don't beat none of them boys. He's 6'9" without him.
Tyson
Fury. I'm not talking about Usyk. I'm talking about Tyson Fury. Because Tyson Fury got them shenanigans surrounding his highest.
Tyson Fury. Who does he not beat from the golden era?
But see, I have problems with a 6'9", 340-pound man
that
trying to be a slick
box.
Yeah. But he's not
That's
slick.
What made him great.
He kind of oafish and slow. It's kind of funny. I don't know.
What's his name could fight him and would have beat him? I think Klitschko would have beat him.
He beat Klitschko. What are you talking about?
The Wash Klitschko. I'm talking about.
That's how he got the belt. He beat Klitschko. What are we talking about?
But that was a Wash Vladimir.
But he beat him. What you want him to do? He beat him.
That's like someone beating Canelo right now.
Ain't nobody done it till they do it. It remained to be. What are we talking about? He beat Klitschko.
I feel you, Cole.
Even if Crawford beats my man Canelo right now, and I love Crawford, people still gonna say, "Oh, he got the end of Canelo at the end of
Canelo's watch." Yeah, that's true.
But how can you say that when that's what started Tyson Fury run? He was the only person that could take the belt from Klitschko. He beat Klitschko.
Well, but if it
don't make sense, whether he watched or not, he beat him.
We'll go with the other brother. We'll go with Vitali. When Vitali fought Lennox and had that class back, he wouldn't see that particular Klitschko very well in that era, in that time period. We could rewind time, put him in there at his peak of his powers, and then at that it was kind of at Vitali's peak then. We don't even talk about Vlad, because Vlad ain't never had no chin. You know what I'm saying? But Vitali was a warrior in there at a certain point, and it's like he gave boys all they could have.
He had a 10-year reign in the heavyweight division.
Vlad?
Whatever the Klitschko he beat, Fury ended that.
Yeah.
That's how he became champion. Yeah. So he beat Klitschko.
But see, my man was in the politics. This shit, Putin just about to pop off.
I'll tell you what. If we gonna make excuses, then I'm gonna do this for Cole because y'all making excuses. I'm gonna do this for Cole. Then if we gonna say that, then I'm gonna say a prime four would be the prime Pacquiao. If we gonna do it. I'm gonna say he fought Pacquiao after. That's what I'm saying.
I can get on board with that.
I say that then. I think Pacquiao could have beat Floyd in his prime. We're going to do that.
I can get on board with that.
Okay.
You think he would have beat Michael Moore?
Yes.
You think he would have beat, who's another one? Was it Reddick? No, Ruddick or something like that? It was Ruddick.
Yes, because here's the thing.
Morrison?
Yes, because here's the thing. What people don't want to accept about Usyk is he's a tremendous. He's a Lomachenko in the heavyweight division. That's why he's able to.
I will say he's in shape. He was throwing punches.
He's in shape, and that's what I'm saying. For him to be like he knocked down Tyson Fury. First of all, he's not even supposed to be in heavyweight. That's why I say when you compare him, Evander Holyfield was a manufactured heavyweight. They built him into he was really a cruiserweight. Usyk was the same. Usyk went up there
with an iron
jaw. Usyk went up there and beat the top guy. So you gotta say he's better than Holyfield. Tyson to me, I love Mike Tyson. Tyson to me was an overrated heavyweight because when he actually fought somebody who wasn't scared of him, he got his ass whooped.
He knew how to control.
Right, and knew how to box. He got his ass whooped. Now I love Mike Tyson. He's an icon, one of the best boxers of all time. But when he fought somebody that wasn't scared of him, he got his ass whooped.
Take the intimidation.
Right, he got his ass whooped. I mean, that's why I say Tyson. The appeal of Tyson and the marketability behind Tyson was great. But when he got in there, most of the time people lost to Tyson because they were just scared when they got in there. But when he fought somebody like Holyfield or somebody was scared, he got his ass whooped. I'm taking Usyk over Tyson.
Who's gonna fight next? Isn't there some black dude that's supposed to be mad nice?
There's
right now?
nobody else to fight. He can fight Dubois. He beat Dubois. Dubois got that IBF from Joshua.
Oh, that's long.
So Usyk had already undisputed. They stripped him of that IBF.
That
Dubois.
that beat Joshua, right? He's undefeated.
No. He lost to Usyk.
Oh,
He won a rematch. Usyk beat him too.
And where is Ike Bayabuchi?
Where is he? That's a good point.
That be the match there, man. We wouldn't even talking about none of these guys.
Making a
President,
plan.
dog. Hey, Ike Bayabuchi.
Listen, y'all gotta listen. I never like Usyk, but I'm gonna give this respect. Laro taking me to Mike Tyson punch out. Next thing you know, you're gonna be saying Glass Joe can beat Usyk. Shit. Shout out to Mike Tyson punch out, man. Let's get to these shout outs. Ro for the start. He's for the start flipping on me. What's my man that jumped over the car? Ro gonna start saying that. He can be, my man that got mad that jumped over the car with the tight white pants. Ro for the pull it out on me, man. I don't want before we go to Soda Pop and Pisky and Ball Ball and Glass Joe. Let's get to these sides. The rope for the dude. We both say about the Bucci. I don't even want to get. He's gonna go into a whole nother archive. Rope for to take us to Mike Tyson punch out.
You got to dig through the praise plan. There's no
man. Y'all better start giving Usyk respect, man. The man. Yeah, man. But anyway, shout out to Las Vegas eighth star Audra Wilson for the three-time WNBA MVP and two-time league champion and signing a 6-year contract extension with Nike, one of the richest shoe deals for a women's basketball player. Shout out to my man DJ Samore. We're gonna have him back on the show. Professional fighter. Just before you got here, Ro, we had him on the show. He's with Top Rank. He just secured his 15th victory just a couple of weeks ago. He knocked. It was the rematch of Espinoza and Robisi. It was on Top Rank ESPN. He knocked dude out. Still undefeated. Shout out DJ. DJ. Then he told me to get him back on the show when I get ready. So I'm gonna get him back in soon. But shout out to him for still staying undefeated. Shout out to De'Aaron Fox, Houston native, for being the NBA leader in the month of November. Even though we late in points for 468 and field goals 169. Shout out to De'Aaron Fox representing A-Style. Shout out to James Harden for being the first player in NBA history to score 40+ points on 5 different teams. Shout out to I mean, my man, he's durable. You might not like the way he played, but he's durable. Shout out to Hall of Fame basketball players and cousins, Tracy Brady and Vince Carter, who have been announced as 2 of the newest 10 minority owners of the NFL's Buffalo Bills. Shout out to them guys for getting their money. And rest in peace, man, to Ricky Henderson, 10-time All-Star, 2-time World Series champion, all-time stolen base leader, all-time run score leader, 1990 American League MVP, 3-time Silver Slugger, first ballot Hall of Fame he just passed. I believe this last Saturday. Shout out to him. Shout out to my man Mike Vick for being hired as Norfolk State next head coach. But is he gonna be willing to get in there with like Coach Prime with them having no showers, getting them, not having the. You got to do it your own way.
But the blueprint is there. The blueprint is there.
There you go.
You can make you some tweaks.
Yeah. You got to put in some work. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it. You can do it. You can do it your own. You can carve out your own path.
Next in line. Cole, you got any shout outs that we get the roll?
I got 3 shout outs, man. The first one go to you guys, man. Happy holidays, man. I love doing the show with you guys. Yo. Much love from New York. My next shout out goes to my favorite quarterback in the NFL, Jaden Daniels, man. I freaking love that kid, man. That kid is special, man. That kid is the next Michael Vick or something, but a little bit better passer. And shout out to my Knicks as always. Shout out to Orange and Blue, period. Yo, we doing our thing. Look at Soto getting the largest contract in MLB history. Wild. You know, we doing our thing in New York. It's gonna be a special year, man. We might take it in every sport, man. Buffalo Bills, New York Knicks, and freaking the Mets, man.
Hey, do you think Josh deserves that MVP?
I think he does. And that was a debate we had last year. That could be next time when we talk of Josh versus
Yeah,
Lamar.
that was a hell of a debate. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
a
that
great
was.
debate.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get back.
Yeah, I started to bring it back up, and I'm like, I don't want to bring it back, but it's like, because you could give it to Lamar, but what Buffalo is doing, and the fact that they got rid of everybody and they kept Josh, and then they brought Amari over there, they believe in Josh. I thought the Bills were gonna go down. That's why I was giving it, because at the end of the day, I thought they were gonna barely get in the playoffs. They one of the best teams in the league.
Yep.
So, yeah. Bro, you got any shout outs, man?
Got a couple, man. Shout out to Paige and Juju. That was a hell of a game. I've been
Man,
checking
you
out.
see that?
Man,
Yeah.
I've been checking out a lot of that girls' hoop. Yeah, Juju is it.
Then that's the reason I watched that game.
Yeah.
I tell you what.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. To your point, and it was supposed to be one of our earlier shows. We didn't get to it. That game with Paige, and then when they played, one of the first games they played against Notre Dame. That backcourt of Notre Dame,
Nice.
they beat USC that game.
It's some monsters out there, and
Yeah.
women got it.
Before you go, do y'all think we seeing the next thing in Juju? I'm seeing GOAT vibes,
So
man.
I personally think women basketball is more competitive than the men's basketball right
Yeah,
now.
I'm seeing, but I'm
He
seeing.
looked a lot like Asia out there, and that's what I see. She looked a lot like Asia out there. Yeah, well, yeah, even most because she's not even a banger.
She's crossing over. Yeah, she a big guard.
Yeah.
I'm seeing. Listen, I'm telling y'all something. I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm seeing. I'm not lying. I closed my eyes and looked at it. I'm seeing Maya Moore's vibe. I thought she could have been the GOAT. She stopped prematurely,
I
but
like that.
the game is similar. It's a little bit of whole squad, but she shoots better than whole squad.
Mhm.
So that brings me to Maya Moore. I'm telling you, bro.
Hybrid, both of them
And
really.
she set herself apart from Paige the other night. Even though Paige plays, but somebody, right? And she set herself apart. Go ahead. Great point.
Shout to them.
And them Notre Dame.
And then we're gonna say, we're gonna give a special shout to all the coaches, all the unsung coaches. We're gonna talk about Coach Dan. We're gonna talk about Coach Tomlin. We're gonna talk about, like, it's really a lost art, and a lot of people seeing big dividends. The difference is evident a lot of time in who you putting out there in your front office and your coaches. So shout out to them boys who do it every day and don't get no credit, none of the shine for it. So that's 100.
Yeah.
Word up.
Chuck, man, on the final episode of 2024, you want to say something on DWB?
No, man. You took down season 3. DWB, man, it's been a prime year. Season, right? We definitely had stuff down. But we're looking for Prospect 2025. These studio locations, new sponsors coming in, $500 and about to move over to Prospect. And communication. So looking forward to season 4.
That's right, man. Like you said, like the man said, season 4, we here. We got some new projects. I'm echo what he said. New projects coming to Most Serious. Check us out on mostserious.com. We appreciate everybody who's been supporting not only DWB, but again, the entire Most Serious. We are moving to bigger and better things. New studios, new sponsors. And we are going to keep moving in 2025. We got some great discussions coming up about coaches, about Division I things, about the whole changing of schools things. We got some panels coming up. We're thinking about a Notre Dame panel. Shout out to my Notre Dame boys and all the guests that came on here. But we are moving into 2025. We're wishing everybody a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and a Happy New Year. And this is Debate with Bake Season 3, signing off episode 10. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Make sure you go on Most Serious and check out the merch and check out our other shows as well as our other projects. We're moving into 2025, and thank you very much. We are out. Appreciate you. Appreciate the chat. Peace.
Peace.
Season 3, Debate with Big Sports Show. We coming live from the Mo. You know how we go. We talking basketball, football, and boxing. You got something to say, man? Jump up in them comments. We gon' keep it real with opinions and facts. Let's look at the stats. Well, that settles that. It ain't no hating. We just debating, interviewing guests so we can learn how they operating. Give you our perspective in a way that's captivating. Another sports show to put in your rotation. See, Bake choose the topics, everybody looking. Laro got the commentary and he keep it cooking. Cole with the game, he coming live from Brooklyn. You know, it's the most serious production. We giving game free, so tap in and see. Season 3, DWB, MSC.
Girl from Notre Dame,